Hello, this is Dewari. Honestly, it's such a familiar silhouette that it was as easy as Suri or Nayoung number 1. I planned to save this character for later, but since I already did Kensu, I decided to proceed. This time the character is Chris, the second of the 3 sacred treasures in the Sahoigado universe. In 98, he's known as an Ichigaki character, one of the really slippery ones, and he's an extremely strong character. Of course, you need to practice and master some techniques to really be strong. If you just try to play casually without learning, you'll end up getting punished all the time while spamming flames. Now, let's take a look at Chris, who is the second member of Team Sahoigado.
Alright, let's have fun with my flames!
Whether I'm using it or my opponent this is the basic standing A move that's used quite often. The startup isn't particularly slow, and it has a lot of active frames. If your opponent uses close-in short hop attacks for safe combos, this move works well as an anti-air. The hitbox itself is designed well enough to be used for cutting off standing short hop attacks. However, if your opponent notices and attacks from farther away, you'll be punished immediately. While it can be used as an anti-air, it's too risky to rely on this basic move. Usually, we often use standing A for close range, and it's an essential basic move for combos. You can follow up with a special move or link into crouching C. Honestly, I rarely see players use this combo in-game, and it's a bit hard to pull off. This is crouching A, an essential move for continuing combos. It's a basic move with the same startup, recovery frames, and advantage as standing A. However, unlike standing A, crouching A can hit even shorter opponents, so it's better. The only minor drawback is that you can't rapid fire it. The combos I showed you earlier with standing A can all be done with crouching A as well. Some use standing A for combos, fearing a projectile might appear, but it's better to avoid it if possible. It might seem like far B is useless in this world, but actually it's surprisingly effective, though not many people realize it. Chris's far B has the same startup frames as Kaio's, but Chris is much better in terms of attack, air recovery frames, and also has about 2 more advantage frames compared to Kaio. Also, while its reach seems short, its hitbox is actually very strong. Its strong hitbox fully compensates for the short reach. It would work as a basic move for another character, but it's awkward as Chris's main move since it's close range. It has a slightly larger hitbox than standing A, so for standing light combo moves, use this one. This lets you hit characters like Choi Bounge, who have a small, crouching hitbox. The larger hitbox speeds up recovery, so after hitting, you have 2 fewer advantage frames. So compared to combos using the original A, the timing becomes a bit tighter. This is Chris's main basic move, crouching B. It's a basic move with excellent startup speed, can be rapid fired, and has a smaller hurt box, making it one of the best basic moves. Because of its excellent startup speed, it's great for go low after an empty jump, and it's so widely used that you could say it's practically Chris's main combo starter. You can hit low and smoothly connect the combos using A that I showed you earlier. The advantage you can gain from landing a low attack is huge, and since it's pretty easy to hit confirm the low, there's basically no risk at all. There's really none. This is far C, which seems useless here. Using this on purpose is a dumb move, but honestly, it can be surprisingly helpful. The motion for the second hit is a bit slow to activate, but the attack range of the first motion is actually pretty long. As you can see, the reach is decent, which is the main point. Far C is a basic move that can be quickly cancelled straight into a command normal after the first hit, making combos like this possible. However, in real matches, it often appears when you're trying to use the close C. It's a great basic move that lets you land a reliable combo, even on opponents who end up farther away after a jump in. Even if you don't use it intentionally, Far C is a basic move that improves combo stability. If the quick pokes are difficult, just using close C isn't a bad option either. Close C starts as quickly as crouching B, so it also keeps up in combo stability. It also has a high guard crush value, making it good for close pressure. Another reason it's great for beginners is that you're less likely to drop combos with it. Just follow up with a special move after a close attack and you can do just about anything. When I couldn't use pokes well, I just gave up and went for close C attacks, and it wasn't bad at all. This is Chris's Crouching C, which is the fastest normal move he has. It has the same startup frames as Pyo's or Iori's Close C. It's a very good basic move that can be used as an anti-air and is also great to use in the middle of combos. As you can see, it's a 2-hit normal, but you can only cancel during the first hit. Since it comes out pretty fast, it's better to start with Crouching C rather than using Close C. Also, its anti-air performance honestly isn't as strong as other characters' uppercuts. If you get a counter, you can hit twice, but usually people don't use it like that and just cancel into sliding. The only drawback of Crouching C is that its hitbox is high, so it doesn't hit shorter characters. When you're breaking the guard, if you skip A and use Crouching C as a forced link, it becomes a stylish combo. Damage is slightly lower than basic attacks, but the difficulty is quite high. It's not trash, but there's no real reason to use Far D. You can use it as an anti-air if you want, but it's a bit awkward. The attack's motion shows both hitbox and hurtbox are large, with a low height. So it can somewhat cut off basic attacks that have a bit of a disappointing range, but if the opponent gets close to Chris and attacks, sometimes you'll trade hits if you're lucky, but if not, because of the slow startup, you'll just get blown up. Production support. This is Hanak Garagak's Close D basic move. Close D is unique because you can't link into command normals, but you can cancel it into specials. So if your hands are too slow to even add special moves, you can just use Close D, but it still works. But you didn't choose Awakening Freeze just to use Close D, so you need to practice. It's not used often, but sometimes Anja D is very effective as an anti-air. The startup is quite slow and the motion looks terrible, but the hurtbox becomes unbelievably small. The attack lasts a while, so you can easily dodge floating projectiles by going underneath. It's a great basic move for messing with opponents who try to bait you into jumping or rolling. Despite having such a small hurtbox when crouching back, the Crouching D attack has its hitbox set unusually high. Unless it's a deep low attack, it's hard to break through the Crouching D. It's also a strong basic move, even effective against Terry and his Burn Knuckle. Unlike with other characters, you don't have to worry about which jumping basic move to choose, just use D. Honestly, except for the jumping D, the rest aren't that good, so there's really no reason to use them. Honestly, even the jumping B and jumping D lack strong hitboxes to be called high performance basics, but their attacks are wide horizontally even if the hitbox is smaller than the hurtbox, so you can use them loosely and they'll still connect. So, as a cross-up or mix-up tool, its performance is insanely good, and the less your opponent can anti-air, the more Chris can take advantage of it. If D is available for the cross-up, Chris can quickly convert straight into a Dasachi counter combo. This is Chris's Jumping C, which makes him strong in aerial battles. Although it has the drawback of being a bit slow to activate, the two hitboxes help reduce the impact of its slow startup. The attack is only done with his foot, but since there is no hurtbox on that part, it's quite tricky to counter with anti-air moves. Even in air-to-air situations, unless the opponent is at a much higher altitude, it's actually very difficult to beat Chris's Jumping C. It's great for defense and also useful for pressuring your opponent. If the opponent uses an anti-air carelessly and gets countered, you can easily land another hit. Max's super move has tight timing, but you can land it if you connect. Honestly, the stationary seed is trash. You can use it for setting up, but there's really no reason to use it. Usually the stationary seed is used for guard cancel, but there are too many cases where it doesn't hit the opponent. The attack's hitbox is placed too high, so you end up wasting your energy for nothing. It has an official name, but everyone just calls the move sliding. The attack's hitbox itself is very straightforward, but the hurtbox becomes extremely small. Whether you use it for zoning or for approaching, it's a basic move you can use anywhere. If you try to hit with just the tip whenever possible, your opponents will love it. Even when the opponent guards the tip range, it's nearly impossible to punish, which really annoys them. If you go in too deep, even by accident, you could get your head smashed, so be careful. The insane sliding move is used with Crouching C as a cancel, and it also works well as an anti-air. Thanks to its low hurt box, you can also defend yourself like this. This is the projectile, flame that shoots the sun. It isn't used often, but it still has its uses. If you use the light version, it's a bit short, but if you use the heavy version, it can hit opponents at the very end of its range. Hono's characteristic is that its activation is very slow, but it can erase the opponent's regular projectiles. However, this isn't seen much in game, and it's mainly used to apply pressure when the opponent is frozen while guarding, or to set up when the opponent has been knocked down. If not, most of the time it comes out by mistake. Other characters have strong anti-air moves, but Chris's anti-air isn't bad either. For Chris's anti-air, you should only use the light version. The heavy version might as well not exist. Using the light version makes his body vulnerable for only a brief moment. Using the light version lets you dodge projectiles, but with the strong version, you'll get hit. The light version is mainly used after a hit or a command grab for the final blow, while the strong version is honestly just for combos. The move itself isn't as good as other characters' anti-air moves, but it's still usable. You absolutely can't use the strong version as an anti-air. This is Flame that bites the limbs, the hit grab that put Chris among the strongest. In 97, you could follow up with Disachi, but in 98, that's not possible, so usually you finish with an uppercut or by jumping back. Chris's main move, known as the Kiss, once you get in, you sweep low and then use the strike and command grab. Beginners often accidentally get a fireball when trying to sweep low and use the special move. There's a technique to make sure the fireball never comes out, and it's really easy. When you sweep low, you use B first, but you ignore the fact that you're still holding down B. If you press A while holding down B, of course A will come out, but even if you keep holding B and input the command forward while pressing A, the fireball will never come out. In other words, you just need to keep holding B without letting go until the special move comes out. This is insane firepower with huge damage. For Chris with B, the goal is to finish most combos with massive damage using the big finisher. Like with Sung Young, only use the big finisher with the light version. If you use the strong version, the opponent can guard like this. The max big finisher can't be used in a combo. Chris's back combo, sweeping low then using the big finisher, is crucial but often fails. After sweeping low like this and then getting hit by a projectile, it really ruins your mood. However, there is a technique to stop the projectile from coming out. It's about making the strike grab move forward like this. It clears the input buffer, so if you enter the command wrong, you'll get a strike grab instead of a projectile. The way to use it is, when you input the last command, you don't just press A, but you press D at the same time. If you enter the command correctly, the move will activate even if you press A and D together. If you use A and D without entering D in the command, something unexpected might happen. You must at least try to enter the command correctly. This serves as a simple safety mechanism.